It is time, guys, to balance out the mix. Where do we start and what is your starting point? This is different for everyone. Maybe you have your own way of starting your mix down. What I like to do is taking my first demo and starting to, apply some small changes to see, a mix down process usually is not a drastic change in your production. Usually it's just some salt and pepper here and there, adjusting the volume, keep comparing it to other songs, also to your own V1. Is it an increasement or is it a decreasement? Sometimes it's a good idea to just start with small changes to polish it, make a new version, save it as V2, V3, and sometimes I end up with 28 versions. Now that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it really happens sometimes. So start with small changes. Do not drastically lower or increase your volume with 5 dB. That is never going to help you. But what you can do is replace some of the instruments and see if there is something in your production causing some, interfering with other instruments. Maybe replacing a clap. Sometimes I even end up replacing an entire kick drum if I feel that it lacks some punch, and sometimes I cannot get to the result with plugins, and then I just need a different source of a sound. Keep in mind that the source of your sound is already half of the work. If you have a really good sounding kick drum that you want to make sound amazing, it's much easier to go from good to amazing than from poor to amazing. That gap is almost not doable with only plugins. So make sure that the elements that you are using are already on a quality that's getting you close to that where you want to be. Going back to the project. So here we have our mix down. So far, so good. This is V1, and I am going to open up my actual project of V1. So I am 100% sure I'm not affecting my production project. So guys, in front of me, we have the project Extended Mix V1, and from here, I'm gonna try to increase the mix bit by bit. Let's start off with opening up the plugins that you really need. The digital I am gonna use later on of Brainworks, and actually I am going to go for the easier version. Less is more, which is the Control V2. I'm gonna disable it for now, as we're gonna dig into that little bit of the process later on. I'm gonna select the drop just here and listen to what we've got. Well, as you can hear, all of these references have a completely different character, and I cannot say that one is better than the other. They just really serve a different purpose. I'm gonna try to find this actual first bounce and load it in. So Fader Pro V1, there we go. I'm going to open this up so I have the comparison here in my Magic AB. So now that we have a clearer view on how the original sounded like, I'm going to try to find out what I can increase. And I am going to extend all of these group channels here and expanding them out so I can see all these separate channels going on. I'm going to remove everything that I think I don't need in the mix, as it gives me some clear view on that what is essential in the mix. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use this piano, but I kind of like it too. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use this piano, but I'm going to keep it for now on a very low volume. I'm going to keep it in there. What else do we have? We have the chords. Okay, and what is this playing? Same thing, not going to need it, getting rid of it. What is this? I'm loving these chords. Definitely gonna keep those. And what is this? This is just making my mix more messy. These chords I'm not gonna use. I'm gonna get rid of them. What is this? Also not gonna use these. Good for an idea, but eventually not necessary. So everything I'm not gonna need, I'm just gonna take away from the mix. What is this? And what is this? Not sure if I need those pianos, but I feel like they're necessary here. At least I'm only using them in the breakdown, so I don't need a sidechain. No matter what they're doing there, they don't have the power I need them to have in order to be active in that part of the track. I don't think I need these here, to be honest. I'm gonna take them out as well. It's not convincing me just yet. Organs, not gonna use it. What is pad doing? Maybe we can use pad. So I'm gonna copy the chords here. Okay, that's very low. Maybe they're cool. Okay, what I hear is that there's too much low going on somewhere in some of these pads. And I think it's these ones. So quickly, I'm gonna make a high cut or a low cut, sorry. And it has to be active somewhere here. There we go. I'm gonna draw a quick automation bar here. Nice. Okay. We're gonna let these chords come up here a little bit more. Okay. Dope. Liking it. We're getting somewhere. Okay, let's see if there's some other things in the mix that I did not clearly mix good enough. I think we need some of these automation in the first break as well. That's an amazing chord. Okay, what do we hear is some of these effects are way too loud. Whoa. What is causing this? Logic and its automation is always interesting. I'm just gonna mute all of these groups until I find it. There we go. It is in FX. Where does it come from? Oh, I think it's this guy here. With Logic, it's important that you always avoid like these straight lines downwards or upwards, because they are always going to give you headache when it comes to copying and changing automation. So whenever you open up your automation, maybe also good in the master mixing process, avoid these straight lines that Logic sometimes does when it's being copied like this. It will cut off things in a very aggressive way, and it can cause pops and clicks in your mix. Sometimes I had, when I was live on stage, that was like, wow, where did that sound come from? And it was actually in my mix, because it was one of these straight lines going up and down, causing the filter to pop, and it's not a really pleasing sound for the ears. So I think that this riser, we built this riser earlier on the course, which I really love, honestly. Let's play it out solo. It's a pretty dope riser there. We're just gonna make sure that it fits in the mix accordingly and it's not taking too much space. So let's see if first of all it sits in the right place, and then if it is gonna give us the right volume when it's being played with other instruments. Okay, that's what happens when you mute some of the channels. At least we know where the popping and clicking comes from. So it's time to unmute all of these other channels and it should work perfectly fine now. So yeah, we're digging into some of the volumes here on the effects and see if there's some effects that we're not using. Like here, I see one of these channels. I'm gonna get rid of those. I see a riser we're not using here. There's a channel we're not using there. This one we decided not to use. And sometimes along the process of mixing, you also find that there is a gap of an effects that you actually need to add to your mix. Because if you change levels, sometimes that can mean that there's a gap in the mix that you didn't see before the mixing process. So don't forget it's a creative process, and that mixing can actually give you a different perspective on your song because you put things into place, and that means some cracks and some little gaps are going to be more visible. So no problem if you need to add little things of production in the mixing process. It's never really a one-way street. And the advantage of mixing in the same project as you're producing is the fact that you can easily add and remove things in your production. Now, if you would go to audio, you would have to be very, very sure that there is nothing you want to add on the production side. Okay, there are some of these effects that are way too loud. Okay, taking down the entire volume is going to help me a little bit already. Okay,